All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the MK MMA Podcast, Episode 3. Thank you guys so much for the support again, and thank you guys for keep watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I get a lot of joy out of this, so thank you so much. Sorry that I've been uploading every 3-ish weeks. It's just kind of hard with the editing and stuff, and I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. And so yeah, I'm going to try to upload every 2 weeks ish, but for right now, this is going to be my last episode all the way until August starts, because I'm going to be traveling and stuff like that for the rest of the summer until I go back to school. So once August hits, you guys will see episode 4 and more episodes more consistently when that comes along. So sorry for the wait, but I'm just traveling, so it's just out of my control. And so for this episode, we'll be talking about the UFC Saudi Arabia card. We'll be talking about the UFC 303 card that just recently happened as well. We will also be giving our takes about UFC 304 that's coming up this late July. And then we will also talk about UFC 305, how that just got announced with Izzy and Dricus du Plessis. And then we'll talk about Ryan Garcia being suspended. We'll talk about Devin Haney as well. And then we will also be talking about the Sphere for Nosh UFC, which is a huge announcement. And then we will also be talking about Nico Ali Walsh, which is who is related to Muhammad Ali, and give our takes about him as well. So hope you guys enjoy this episode, and thank you so much. Jack, thank you for coming on yet again. You're helping me carry this podcast right now. I am trying to get more guests on my show. It's just none of my friends have been available, and Jack has thankfully been able to help me with this, and I appreciate it a lot. Jack, how's your summer been so far since last time?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been good. Not really been doing much.
You started up football?
Yeah. Still got a lot of football.
How's football treating you?
Good. I mean, it's starting to get hard now in July, but everything's been fine.
The 2 days coming along and everything now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could relate, but I definitely can't. So I'm past my prime, and I played soccer. So, dude. So about how did you think Whitaker did in Saudi Arabia? I thought that was pretty electric. Just seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool, especially for like a super hyped up opponent that he was a lot of people had that fight pretty even. And a lot of people thought Ikram was a very elite fighter that could go a long way, and a lot of people thought that dude was going to be title contending very soon, but Whitaker proved a lot of people wrong, that he's still a very prominent contender, and he wants the title fight. I mean, he's always going to be there as of now.
Ikram stepped up on, what was it, like a week notice or 2 weeks notice? I think it might have been.
Yeah, I mean, it was short notice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. But Dana White said if you take this fight, it'll change your life, and he tried, and he took the chance, and he's not going anywhere. Ikram's still really good.
Hurt him.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt him at all. I mean, he lost to a former champ that's a middleweight great. Yeah, and so it's just nothing's gonna happen to Ikram. But I was scared for Whitaker because I don't go off the odds of what DraftKings and the betting apps tell you what the odds are, especially for UFC. I go with my gut really and what I know about the sport. And so when I saw that it was Whitaker minus 150, I was like, whoa, okay, let's give this guy some credit. Yes, he's not in his prime anymore. He's at the end of his prime. He's still freakishly good. And I was just like, dude, I don't believe that at all.
With I think really as much more Ikram than Bo Nickel would have, or Bo Nickel, who also got the call. Yeah. Just a lot of people when I heard Ikram was taking the fight, it was really it's a lose everything situation for Whitaker. Yeah. If he loses that fight, he drops hard. He drops not hard, but he drops. Yeah. And I mean, he's old. He's getting old, and it's kind of getting to the point where it's he's sticking around in that bubble of you could throw him a title fight, but if he lost to Ikram, that title shot would be out the window. It'd be not out the window, but it'd be far. It'd be a far reach. He'd have to restart his title contender run. Yeah, and he'd have to fight into a lot later years in his life.
Exactly, which he doesn't want to right now. He's not old, but he's getting to the point where he's almost done with his the middle years of his career, which are like the most important part.
He's like 50 in fighting age.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, those dudes, I mean, you have to retire young in that.
Exactly.
In that sport.
Or else you would just be.
Yeah, you just get beat up, and like your body gets destroyed so much quicker than any other sport.
Exactly. So. But yeah, I'm really excited and happy for Whitaker. His performance was great. The knockout he had was unreal. He knocked him. He knocked him out in the first round in like 40 seconds or something like that.
It was disgusting. He
looked
great.
A
beautiful shot.
He looked great.
It was a crazy shot.
I always forget how Bo Nickel was like in the mountains and he couldn't.
Got called. Yeah,
that fight was. I would have been scared for Whitaker to fight Bo Nickel. And
Bo Nickel's getting every chance in the world right now. The UFC loves him. They love him. Golden boy.
I mean, dude, he freaking was in the main card for UFC 300.
He's a really prominent prospect. Like he's got. He
brings a lot of attention, and the great thing about him, he brings so much attention from the wrestling world and like the NCAA and Olympics. He just brings all those people that watched him into the UFC, and so
it's always
I'm pretty sure Dana White's like, okay, we got to put him up in the card because he's one of the most talented fighters in the UFC. Like not like the most talented out of everyone, but he's like climbing that ladder to be the most talented.
And he's just following in those footsteps of like dominant wrestling wrestlers that have came through the UFC.
Exactly.
It'd been cool to see him fight Whitaker, who's the one and only champ to ever be a karate fighter, which it would be pretty cool. Yeah. Because Whitaker's a karate fighter, which is just crazy that he's karate based. But
that head kick he has is unreal.
He's the only karate champion ever.
Really? That's like
crazy. Where everyone else like bases off like there's like people like who like what you identify as like a Muay Thai fighter, a jiu-jitsu fighter, a kickboxer. Like Whitaker's the only karate based fighter to ever win a championship.
Damn, that's insane. But yeah, I was super impressed by his performance, and I'm just happy he just made a statement because I knew there were some people doubting him, and I mean I don't know.
It wasn't that awful of a fight night. I mean, like
it wasn't awful.
It could have been. It could have been unbelievable. Like when you hear like people like what is it, Olberg to. How'd it go again?
I don't think Olberg was going to fight in that card. Olberg was going to fight in 303.
Oh, that's 303. Oh, I'm completely blanking. I was thinking of the pullouts.
Kamzat was going to fight.
It was Kamzat. I'm thinking. I was thinking there was because there was multiple pullouts. That one.
How do you feel about Kamzat and just like him struggling to be healthy going into fights and pulling out? Because I'm pretty sure he's pulled out of like 4 fights, and then he also like missed weight by 8 pounds when he was going to fight Nate Diaz, and then
he had to fight that fight against Kevin Holland
and ragdolled him. I mean, he weighed in 8 pounds over, but I'm pretty sure Kevin was in a higher weight class, so he switched.
It's a catch weight. It was a catch weight. It was like what Ige and Lopes did at catch weight.
Yeah. God, that was fucking nuts how Ige fucking stepped up in like an hour. Stepped up in 4 hours, and he was watching the prelims, and he was getting a massage. Hunter calls him up, and then Ige was texting him, and they showed the text messages on the pay-per-view, and they were like, he was like, please don't take this opportunity away from me. I've been in camp for 3 months. I feel great. I can make weight at 160, and he was like, please don't take this opportunity away from me. I was like, wow, that is wild.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That fight night was pretty cool. I kind of felt bad for, it was an awesome fight. Diego Lopes, Ige was an awesome fight.
Yeah, it was an awesome fight. I feel bad.
It took so much away from
Lopes.
I felt awful for Lopes because that fight was supposed to be like.
He was supposed to fight Brian Ortega.
That fight night could have been
unreal.
Brian Ortega, whose only losses are Volk and Hall.
Brian Ortega, he's lost to Volk.
And Hall.
Did he fight Holloway?
I don't know. He only has losses to greats.
Let's check it out.
His UFC record is. He's gonna fight lightweight now. Really?
Yeah, Ortega's gonna fight lightweight.
Look at his losses.
He's 16-3. He's lost to Volk. He lost to Yair Rodriguez also.
Great.
Because I think it was like
I think the other one's like an old.
injury.
I think it's Holloway.
And then lost to Holloway.
Yeah.
Okay.
unbelievable. Like his records, unbelievable.
Those are 3 very good losses.
Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, Yair Rodriguez, some of the best strikers to ever come through the UFC, and then Volk, top 5 fighter ever.
Yeah, Volk is gonna be going down as like top 10 for sure.
He could have beat Diego Lopez. Could have beat Brian Ortega there and gotten
and then could have just jumped up into because Ortega's ranked 3rd in the featherweight.
For a title fight.
Yeah, and he would have been, and he could. I thought Diego was going to beat Ortega, and then he would have just jumped up to number 3 rank.
He could have jumped to
in the featherweight, and
then
he
could have jumped to competing for. He would have fought.
He would have fought for the belt because Holloway and then he probably would have fought Volk for a number 1 contender, which kind of sucks because like Volk has lost 1 fight in the featherweight division after defending it for 5 years, and then now he doesn't get a rematch because credit to Holloway having that spectacular performance and knockout at UFC 300. But Volk defended the belt for 5 years and then doesn't get a rematch after having countless title defenses.
I really see whoever wins out of. I strongly believe Topuria Holloway is going to get completely confirmed, like for good.
Yeah, that's going to be confirmed for sure.
I truly do think that Volk will not fight another fight unless it's a title fight. I don't think that's his choice.
Volk wants to have. He was talking about how he wants to have exciting fights. He says he wants to fight a lightweight fight and have it be exciting. They're talking about like Volk Gagey.
I could truly see Volk
like that.
I could see Volk though being ringside at like the Sphere and.
Oh yeah, I
could see them bringing. I could see them bringing him into the ring after the winner of that fight
for sure. I hope,
especially if Holloway wins.
Yeah, I hope Holloway and Ilya fight at the Sphere, but I also hope like O'Malley and Merab fight at the Sphere. But I
say they just load it up.
Load it up.
Every champ fight.
Throw two title fights on the card. I know O'Malley might not. It doesn't like maybe Ilya shouldn't headline. Maybe Ilya shouldn't headline the Sphere because he hasn't had his first title defense. I get it that he's going to be a great fighter.
Ilya, you said,
but like maybe he should be the co-main. And then maybe like O'Malley should headline the Sphere because O'Malley sells tickets, you know?
Yeah, it's Vegas too.
So yeah.
It's Vegas.
O'Malley,
it's Vegas.
It's O'Malley, it's Vegas. He's just like Conor for selling tickets and
I just see that being
open sale gates.
I just see that being the perfect. I see that being how it goes.
Yeah.
Ilya.
That'd be pretty cool.
And then it's supposed to be am I wrong? Like the Hispanic theme?
Yeah, it's International Fight Week, right? I'm pretty sure it's International Fight Week for the Sphere. I have no. That's idea. Why they made it no UFC.
Oh. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I see Ilya fighting in that though.
Yeah.
Hopefully against Holloway, and I hope they don't make it a BMF title fight.
Yeah. I hope
Ilya doesn't take the BMF.
We were talking about this last time. Yeah, because it would just get bounced around by champs.
It would only be unless Ilya goes to a double. Like it would just stay in featherweight.
Yeah.
For God knows how long.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, back to sorry, we got off track there. Back to Saudi. Shara Bullet
getting thrown his. Just like welcome to the UFC fight for a second fight, yeah.
And then, the guys he was fighting, he was supposed to fight one person, he pulled out, another guy he pulled out, and then he fought.
That's what I was thinking.
All these pullouts have been kind of pissing me off, but it's just like that's just how the sport that's just how the sport goes, and just people pull out because being healthy through a fight camp, a 10-week fight camp. Is so much on your body.
Oh, yeah. If you get a cut, people pull out for cut because a cut can literally lose your fight.
If you get cut like not terribly bad, but it's like kind of noticeably
even a face cut,
then
it'll just get opened up.
You can't train. Like
they'll open you up.
Train. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then if you do fight with it, you'll get opened up immediately, and it's just like
exactly.
Yeah,
and that's why they stop fights too if cuts are way too bad.
Like we saw at
oh my god, dude! At 303,
yeah.
It was Bueno Silva and that one other girl.
The girl who cut her,
the girl
that
cut her with the big elbow, and when she was like in full
guard.
Yeah, it was a great strike.
I had
money. I had a parlay going, and when I forget who fought after Bueno. I think it went Bueno and then Lopes and then Pereira, and all my legs hit. It was gonna be like $20 for like 150, and Bueno was the only thing. Bueno was the only one that didn't hit, and Bueno was winning that fight too. I felt like
she was.
And then that cut just messed up the whole fight.
I had a really simple parlay.
That's how the sport goes.
For that. I mean, it was simple, but like at the same time, won a lot of money because I had who at the start. There was a big name. There was a bigger name at the start. It was kind of like a free fight for him. Well, I know I had Lopes by decision. I had Pereira by knockout or TKO, and then those both hit. And then before that,
the open up was MVP and Ian Gary.
Yeah, I had Ian Gary winning.
Yeah,
I didn't have anything. I just had Ian Gary winning.
Yeah, I wanted
Michael Van Page.
We could shift this to the UFC 303 and then come back to Saudi because we're just talking about it a lot. But
is there anything else to talk about Saudi besides Shara?
Shara Bullet having a spectacular performance, and then there was Sergey and Volkov.
Oh, okay. We can talk about that real quick.
Yeah, Sergey and Volkov was a really good fight, and Sergey, he seemed like he was gassing himself a little bit too much, and then he also was saying how he was looking for the knockout. He was focusing on that too much.
I hate how they like put fights like that. Like, I know it's a business, and I know like what they do is like they have to do it, but like. They made those two dudes fight each other, and they're sparring partners. They
were partners.
They hated it. Did you see their face off?
No.
If you translate what they were saying, like Volkov was like, "Why'd you take this? Why'd you take this?" And then Sergey was like, "Why'd you take this?" Like they were both. So the call went through. Apparently, it got reported a little bit, but Volkov was called saying that like Pavlovich wants to fight you, and he was like, "Why would he do that?" And then Pavlovich got called. And then he was like, Volkov wants to fight you. And they both didn't want to fight each other. Really? But they just made the fight happen. Yeah, I just don't like that.
That sucks.
I mean, they're sparring partners. They're good friends.
Yeah. And then they were beefing at the end. You see Sergey like push Volkov like 2 and shoved him. And then Volkov was just like, what the fuck?
Sucks because those dudes will go home and train with each other. To the next fight.
Who knows if they're gonna be friends after that fight?
Exactly, which kind of sucks.
I mean, look at Colby Covington and Jorge.
Yeah,
like they were boys. Like those guys were tight, and then now they just hate each other.
Oh, the heavyweight division is so whoever wins a fight, you can get a title shot.
Exactly. That's how the light heavyweight division used to be. But now, since Pereira's taken over, consistent, good, solid champ. That's the face of the UFC right now. The light heavyweight division is not. It's not a candy division.
It's not a joke anymore.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke where you can just.
It's the hardest division besides Islam's.
Remember when the light heavyweight? I mean, Pereira's been champ for probably like 8 months now, 10 months now. But like, remember when it got tossed around as like 3 different champs? In 1 year.
Jamal Hill, yeah, when they were just like handing it out like it was candy.
Yeah.
Especially once, what was it when it became an interim and then it came back to I mean it's dumb. Yeah,
and so I'm glad that. But now it's slowly going to the heavyweight because like, I mean I get it. John Jones was supposed to fight Stipe and then
fight. I know he's injured.
But people don't understand how John Jones was going to fight, got injured, and he was out for 6 months minimum.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna. What was his
6 months minimum? That means
expected would be. He was supposed to fight in
last November. Now he's gonna fight this November though.
Yeah.
So he's been out for a year.
We can talk about that eventually.
Yeah.
But
So MVP and Ian Gary. I mean, I was kind of pissed off by that fight because Ian Gary's talking all this shit, saying like he's an amazing like I'm a better striker than him. I'm faster than him. I'm quicker than him.
And then didn't throw a punch.
And then look what he fucking does, dude.
He didn't throw a punch.
MVP is faster than him off the jump.
His striking is unbelievable. Every strike was a significant strike, and it was like hard.
Yeah.
But I did think it was awesome in the way of like the way Ian Gary has almost like developed into this like he's developing into like an all round like really like he's been training. He's been doing jiu-jitsu with Oliveira.
Oh yeah, he
and
trains
now,
with Charles and lives in Brazil.
And like those submission attempts were absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, they were. They were
disgusting that he put on MVP like that. He had him in a. What do you have him in a rear naked?
Was that rear naked? How MVP defended that was crazy.
And then he almost set up.
Was it a leg lock?
Yeah, he almost set up the leg lock, and he almost got the ankle. It was disgusting, and the way he like dropped to it was just absolutely filthy. Yeah. And then he almost choked him out at the end too, which to Ian Gary's like to MVP's like MVP doesn't really have great like MVP doesn't even really have like submission defense at all, but like he stayed with it.
Exactly,
he didn't get choked out.
How I'm saying like I was pissed off by that fight. I'm just pissed off more of Ian Gary just saying, "Oh, I'm faster and quicker."
It was supposed to be
like a show. A standing fight.
Like MVP has this whole different style that he fights with. How he fights like that Wonder Boy kickboxing, like kind of like switching up stance on you.
Yeah,
and Ian Gary is known actually to be a pretty good like striker, and like he's tall, he's bigger, he will go to the ground a lot, but like Ian Gary can knock people out. Ian Gary has that power a little bit, and like. It was supposed to be like a Ian Gary defend against a really difficult, elusive fighting style that MVP has. I thought it was going to stay on the feet. I knew Ian Gary would take him down, but I didn't think it was solely going to be like just he was going for strictly submissions. He was going strictly to the ground game. He was pinning MVP against the cage at every chance he got. Just tried to go strictly to a submission.
It was nice to see how like in the second round where they stood up more. Ian Gary was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, but
I don't know if his plan was to see like, okay, let's go. But I don't think he was able to just to get to the ground.
I think he learned after the second round. Like that's why the third round,
he was just hanging on his back.
First round was the ground where he almost submitted him. Second round, I think he started with the stand up and realized really, really quickly that he can't do that with Michael Venom Page won the second round completely.
Yeah, Dana thought it was a draw. Because he thought the third round,
I think,
like if you're looking at what Ian Gary did in the third round, got a takedown or two,
got to his back,
it was controlling him while he took him down too. So like you got to go off like
it's a toss up. It's a toss up for sure.
I think Ian Gary won the fight. I think it was the right call. It's just I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah, I think it was the right call, and I just think Ian Gary just needs to be ready for who he's going to go against next because he called out Shavkat, and Shavkat is much better than him on the ground if he ever thinks he can try to like submit Shavkat. Shavkat is 18-0 with 10 submissions and 8 knockouts.
Yeah, Shavkat wins that fight by landslide. Yeah,
but he calls him out, and then Shavkat tweeted out, he's like, I guess he didn't remember what happened in training, and I was like, oh fuck.
No, Shavkat would derail him.
Yeah, I think they sparred in training, and Shavkat was basically just trying to say, "Oh, he kicked his ass."
Shavkat will. I love Shavkat. I'm a huge Shavkat. I think I've defended him every single episode.
Yeah,
but just like he's going to fight. If he doesn't fight Kamaru Usman, then he's going to fight the title shot next. There's nothing around that really.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he beat Wonder Boy with ease.
Submitted Wonder Boy.
First person to ever submit Wonder Boy.
Yeah, submitted him.
Crazy. And then, I mean, Usman got his rematch, lost to Leon, which is good, which I thought was very respectable by the UFC to give Usman his rematch.
Yeah.
But he lost, and then now, I mean, Usman just can't be automatically the next guy in line. I think after this Bilal and a Leon Edwards fight, the next person that it has to be is Shavkat fighting him, or Shavkat and Usman have to fight for the title. Winner of Bilal.
And the second Shavkat wins, I think Usman is Usman has to put the gloves down.
He might put the gloves down.
I think he should.
He's like 37.
Yeah, I think he should, but also I think you have to like the dudes in that division that are still going to be.
Hey Siri, how old is Kamaru Usman? He's 37.
But you have to think about who he'd fight next to get back to a title shot. And then you got to take on Mandela. You have to take on JDM.
JDM is a rising star. He's ranked 5th right now.
Even at that point, they're going to throw Ian Gary more more fight. He's gonna get to the point where it's gonna be like Usman could be the 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. With Colby being like a 6, 7, or 8.
I think Usman might still be the number 1 ranked welterweight right now.
No, he is.
He is. Okay.
Oh, I mean Bilal. I think Bilal.
I think Bilal's
is
2.
Is Bilal 2? I think Bilal's 2. I think Usman has to be 1.
Let's check it out.
I think Usman has to be 1.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usman's 2, but it's just that he lost. If we're looking at it,
no, you guys can't see this. If we're looking at it, this fight obviously is happening with Bilal and Leon. Mm-hmm. Shavkat is
number 3.
If he beats Usman, if they do, like, hypothetically, let's say they fight. Mm-hmm. Bilal goes to the number 1 contender.
Yeah.
If Shavkat wins, or Shavkat goes to number 1, Bilal goes to number 2, no matter what, Usman automatically has to drop to 3.
Yeah.
Which puts him behind Colby and JDM. That means his next fight either will be for a title shot again if it's a rematch between Shavkat, let's say.
Yeah.
But by this time, Usman's 38, approaching like 39 at some point.
39. Yeah, he's probably about to be 38.
And then you have JDM entering his prime.
Yeah. He's probably about to be 38 right now because who knows? Or maybe... I don't even know, dude.
I don't know. And then the rest of 303 we had after.
Yeah, after 303.
Well, after Ian Gary. Let's go after Ian Gary MVP.
Yeah, after.
Let's go. Let's just move on to.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was Anthony Smith. Which that fight sucked. That fight was so...
I didn't care for that fight.
It was Bueno Silva. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
I thought that was a great fight. I got a performance. It was a cool fight. They got a performance of the night. I thought it deserved to get a performance of the night because
awesome.
Bueno looked spectacular on her feet. Spectacular. Mm-hmm. I've never seen her fight on her feet that well of all the matches I've seen her fight. Maybe she's fought better when she was like more in her prime, but I thought she looked really good. And then fucking Anthony Smith fight. That I'm telling you this, I took my eyes off that fight and didn't watch, and probably watched 30 seconds of the 15 minutes total on that fight.
And he lost to he's fought light heavyweight before, but he's a middleweight.
Yeah, that fight was a middleweight fight. That was a lightweight.
He's ranked. He came up on because once again late. This was the fight that was tossed around like 1,000 times.
It was such a bad fight. And Anthony Smith was
he's ranked. It's cool. He's ranked in both divisions.
That's cool.
He's top 15 in both divisions. And then you have Ige Lopez.
Well, hold on. Anthony Smith was just like, oh yeah, this is gonna put a dent on my title run. Contending,
he's done.
You were never in a title run, bro. I think he's 2-1 in his last 3 fights.
He's so far away.
He's 1-2 in his last 3 fights, dude. He lost to Roundtree on a KO, won off a submission. That was a fluke, by the way. He should have not. I was watching that fight, and the guy like jumped into his guillotine, and like when he was about to take him down, he got lucky with that submission, and then of course that fight was so boring at 303, and he basically just got used.
Mm-hmm. And then you have Ige Lopez, which we talked about.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Diego Lopez looked really great. I think I guarantee a bunch of people
they both could get put on the sphere.
Yeah, they both want to be. And then Dana White was like, "I'll take care of them if they want to be on there. They will because of what they did for sure will.
Ige for sure will.
Ige will. 100%
They're gonna give him his flowers.
And Ige looked really good. I know, like he fought. I mean, Diego Lopez and Ige basically had the same disadvantages against each other because Diego Lopez comes on short notice. He comes on short notice in 2 weeks, and then he thinks he's fighting Brian Ortega, so he's watching film and trying to see how he can fight him. And then on that night, 4 hours before his fight, Ortega pulls out, and then they switch his opponent. But then Ige's like, okay, I have to figure out how Lopez fights, and so in 4 hours. And so it goes both ways. And I think they both looked great. And it's hard for Lopez to put on a spectacular performance when you just have to go fight a completely different dude.
That fight was literally a street fight. It was almost just like they didn't scheme really much for each other. They kind of just went out there and
it was awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was really awesome.
It was an awesome fight to lead into,
and that just also shows of like how badass the sport is and what the UFC is about, dude.
Dan Ige reflects
he shows a lot
what they
about,
want.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really awesome to see, and it's something I've never seen before since I've been a fan. So I'm just like,
I've never seen I can't recall someone taking that short of a notice.
Yeah.
Like Volk was like outrageous when he took it.
Well, he was like he was a week out. I'm pretty sure. He was 10 days out,
and that was like everyone like blew up.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Whoa!"
And then this dude takes 4 hours.
If he had a bigger name, everyone.
Oh my God, Jesus!
I mean, Dan Ige has a big name. He has a good platform.
If that was Dan Ige, if that was Dan Ige pulling out, and Brian Ortega filling in, it'd be like,
everyone.
It'd be like Ortega get a title shot if he won that fight.
Yeah, exactly. And then
but it was a perfect fight to lead into.
Yeah.
Yuri Prochazka versus Alex Pereira.
Wow.
Best fighter.
Just wow.
I love what he's done for his like social media, like the way he's like a people's champ now.
Yeah, he's literally people's champ.
Did you see him on the lake?
You see, I was just about to say that. You see him in the lake. He was tossing him some upper deckies.
Yeah,
bro.
it was awesome.
It was so fun.
He was tubing. Like I love like his whole group he's got. Like
he has a great group.
And like his that translator, the big guy who's like awesome. He's dancing before their fight. He's dancing before his fights.
Dude, he was the coach. Like his head coach, the big guy, was the one that found Yuri training to defend the leg kick, the lower leg kick by Pereira, and that's like, okay, we're gonna go throw a leg kick at the head.
Did you see the first round leg kicks he was landing on him?
Yeah, it was lethal.
Oh God.
And I think that's what he was planning on doing. He was like, this is just what I was thinking. Maybe the first round, they're like, just throw your leg kicks at the leg. And then once we get to the second round, just throw one to the head.
I genuinely wish I could live bet the UFC. It would have been minus 10,000. But like,
yeah,
I genuinely could have put my house on knockout in the first 30 seconds of the second round. Well, Yuri was.
Well, yeah,
Yuri's still
he got
trying
slumped.
to fight. He's still trying to. He was trying to. I mean, like, we don't know the feeling, but like,
yeah,
I have enough talk and enough watching of the UFC. I know that these guys talk about when you get knocked out like that and you wake up, you don't know where you are.
Yeah,
you don't know what's happening. Yuri thought he was still fighting. He was about to fight Herb Dean.
Yeah,
he was like coming at Herb Dean. He thought he stopped it, and then like he walks out. Into the start of the second round, he's wobbling.
Yeah.
It was the ultimate, just Alex Pereira, just masterclass.
It was the best performance Alex Pereira
he showed defense
ever put on.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Which he usually does. He usually just has no defense and banks on his dynamite hand.
Dude, I was watching the first round with my boys, and the fight, but when we were watching the first round of that fight, it was a pretty even first round, and then all of a sudden, he just throws that left hook out the buzzer beater, and he just hit, and then it's like almost the whole crowd reaction was unbelievably cool, but then everyone was just like, like voice is gone. Everyone's just like, what just happened?
I just think like with how much UFC we've both watched, and like with all these fighters we've ever watched, I just don't understand like the natural gift that he has in his hand, but like when he hits you, I've never seen another fighter hit someone and like they genuinely get stunned from it. Like if he touches you, it's like they get stunned.
You got to take a step back and just be like, whoa.
They get stunned. It's just crazy to watch. Like he freezes you. Like he stops you.
Yeah.
Just when he hits you, it's just like, it's unbelievable. And that leg kick he has, he's just the most dominant. Like he jumped up to pound for pound over John Jones.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. And I think, I don't think that in our pound for pound rankings, we have John Jones as number 1 and he's going to stay there. I didn't change the rankings.
Yeah.
I didn't change the rankings this week at all. They're the same as last week, but we will talk about them at the end of this pod. But I was really debating about putting Pereira above Islam, dude, because he is
just
so dominant.
I don't get it.
He is so dominant. It's unreal.
I know he's gonna fight Ankalaev next.
Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen too. But I was just so happy to see Pereira just put on a dominant performance. and just he looked so good.
It sucks. I love both those fighters too.
Yeah,
I love Yuri and such an awesome stare down you get out of them too.
Yeah,
I love that they did it again.
Everyone in this,
so cool.
all the creators that were there were like, that was a 3-minute stare down.
It was the best stare down in sport. It was they topped the one they had before. It was the best stare down in sports history.
Oh yeah.
I love how it cut from commercial and came back to them motionless. Like they still haven't moved. They're still like just staring at each other. It's absolutely. And I really hope Yuri like takes some time to
figure out what he wants to do next.
Recoup, and I mean, because that dude's head has to be just shot.
Yeah.
Like the fall he took, the head kick he took. That dude.
Exactly.
And he takes fights because he's so spiritual and he's so like into fighting. He takes losses really rough. That was a fall. He takes losses really, really rough, which kind of sucks. But I hope he fight. I mean, I don't know.
Him and his coach were talking about how he might go down to middleweight.
Yuri?
Yeah. You didn't hear about that?
Can he make that cut?
I don't know. He already looks like he is
huge,
4% body fat.
But he looks so big already in light heavyweight.
I know.
He looks massive.
I don't know how he would drop down to middleweight. He looks like he has 0%. He looks like he has 4% body fat, or like
he's so cut,
or 3% body fat.
So
it's
cut.
Unreal. And he's one of the most cut UFC fighters out there. And I don't know how he would drop down to middleweight, or even if that's possible. But
he needs to fix his fighting style before.
I think there's something wrong.
His no defense.
Yeah,
and his hands down. Mm-hmm. A lot of good fighters do that, and a lot of elite fighters can.
Yeah, like MVP. It's just like you don't know when those punches are coming,
especially at that.
And
especially
you're quicker
at that
when
weight.
you have your hands down. You can just throw them as like it helps you throw your punches faster. Too.
And they get away with it more at the heavier weights because they're bigger guys. They move slower. But when you fight a dude like Alex Pereira who has a fucking stun gun in his his knockout power on UFC 5 has to be 100. If he has a literal stun gun in his hand. Like you can't. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It's just unbelievable because like I don't care who he fights. You could say John Jones dominates him. I don't care who he fights. If he lands a hard punch, it is over.
Yeah, exactly. Like he would slump John Jones for sure if he landed a clean left hook on him. Yeah.
There's no one. I think it's crazy to say, but I really hope Aspinall fights for a really, really long time.
He will.
Panning to what this eventual conversation is going to turn into, which is Pereira being champ, trying to fight, which he announced, it's always been conspiracy.
Yeah.
Of him, he announced if that's in his future, he wants it.
Yeah, and he was like, if that's what the UFC fans wants, he will give it. He said, he was
such a fan guy now. It's so weird. It's
awesome.
It's so weird though. The last dude you expect who speaks minimal English.
Yeah.
Says the same word for half the things he says.
Yeah.
He says Shama, which is I thought
Chama.
It was so funny that Joe Rogan asked him that at the end.
He's like, what does Chama mean?
Anything. It means anything you want. Bad,
he's like you can go to the gym and you'd be like Chama. Yeah. And then he was also like, do you want to go to the gym? And you're like, Chama.
Yeah, I think it's so I think he's great. He's great for the UFC. Mm-hmm. I think he can make I genuinely do think he can make the cut to heavyweight. I think Aspinall and Jones are the only dudes that give him problems in the entire UFC.
For sure.
Which is crazy because Ankalaev could be a very good fight.
I think he's going to fucking destroy Ankalaev.
I hope he does.
Fuck him.
I hope he does.
Fuck him.
It's just Ankalaev is such a different fighter than he's fit. Ankalaev has the best ground game he's ever faced.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. But we will see, man. I'm excited for Pereira's future. I know he was talking about how he wanted to fight at UFC 305, and then his coach was like, chill.
He said no. He said he wants to. He said he's gonna ask the UFC more. Like,
I know.
Keep going.
It's crazy. I just want him to I want him to hang on to his belt and not just like. And I don't think he's gonna lose his belt. I'm just saying what if he fights at 305 and then he just loses and then boom, he's not a champ anymore.
I think it's the most impressive thing in the world how he's fought. That was his
second. That was his second title
defense. No, but 10.
That was his. Was that his 10th, second title defense? Yeah.
10th UFC fight though.
I think that was his. Yeah, you might be right. I know he might. I think he's 11-2.
Almost every single.
Yeah, he's 11-2.
Almost every single fight in the UFC has been a champ.
He has fought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
But go down the list of how many dudes have held a belt that he's fought.
Oh, here we go. Strickland 1, Izzy 2,
Izzy again.
Jan 3, Yuri 4, Jamal 5. He's beaten
almost every single dude he's fought.
He's beaten 5 former champs.
Almost every single dude he's fought.
He's beaten 5 former champs, and he's fought including Izzy twice and Yuri twice for like how many champs he's fought. Strickland 1, Izzy 2, Izzy again 3, Jan 4, Yuri 5.
His only loss in the UFC.
Yuri 7. He's fought in champs 7 times, including like Izzy twice and
his only loss in the
twice.
UFC is Izzy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's 7 out of the 9 fights he's fought in UFC champions.
Respectable ones too.
And yeah, respectable ones. It's crazy.
He's John Jones' age, but I still think he's got so much more in him.
I know. I think he does too. But we'll see, dude. I'm super excited for his future, and it's gonna be great. I think he has 2 solid more years than him.
Yeah,
solid more years than him.
And at this rate, the way he fights, that's like 8 fights for him.
Yeah, and the thing is, also, John Jones says he has like
2
good fights left in him, maybe 3. If he fights Stipe, I think that's gonna be an easy fight for him.
I don't think it even takes one off of his.
I don't think, like, depending on what happens with Aspinall, I think we can switch this to UFC.
Yeah, I was just about to say this is going on to who's going to be the talk of these 2 dudes we've been talking about primarily, John Jones and Alex Pereira. The for like boogeyman of all of them is Tom Aspinall. Yeah, they think Tom Aspinall has what it takes to be a dude like John Jones. And they think Tom Aspinall has what it takes to be a dude like Alex Pereira.
And I'm just like, if John Jones beats Stipe, which I think he will, what's next for him? Is he gonna sit out another fucking 8 months?
No matter,
and then fight Aspinall, or is he just gonna tease Aspinall and not fight him? He definitely has to fight Aspinall. He definitely has to fight Aspinall.
He's an interim champ. It's an interim champ. Yeah, exactly. He has to fight him.
Who knows? And then I feel like, say Pereira's still the champ and dominating while after Aspinall and John Jones fight.
That's guaranteed. That's guaranteed.
Then he has to try to go by
That's almost guaranteed then.
Yeah.
And if he becomes champ, I genuinely don't.
He might be the GOAT of the UFC.
I don't think there. I was just about to say I don't think there's. There's an argument.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think there's.
But like,
I don't think there's anyone above him you can put besides John Jones.
Exactly. And like, I mean, if John Jones beats Tom, this is so many ifs. If he beats Tom and then he fights Pereira and then Pereira beats John Jones, he's fighting John Jones in his latest year, his last ever fight in the UFC.
But same age.
Same age, yeah, that's true also, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. But the crazy thing is, it is a bunch of ifs. But what we are talking about is only probably 4 fights from happening.
Yeah,
it's going to be Aspinall versus Blades. Aspinall wins that fight. I genuinely think Aspinall wins that fight by a landslide. And it's going to be Alex versus Ankalaev if that happens. I say both those dudes will fight once more before Aspinall fights Jones. And I think Pereira will take off because there's no one else in the light heavyweight.
Yeah, because he's cleaned it all out. Unless
no one deserves a title
unless
shot.
Jamal Hill keeps complaining and he beats the guy.
I just hope Yuri knocks him out. I hope Yuri goes and fights him. Yeah, knocks him out.
That's what I hope for Yuri is fight Jamal Hill, shut him up. You know?
And then but you get the Aspinall fight. I think Aspinall wins his next fight, and there's no matter what he can sit out as long as he wants because he knows his next opponent's John Jones.
Exactly.
And then I think if Alex beats Ankalaev, he's waiting for that heavyweight fight.
Exactly.
But he doesn't care and he loves fighting, so he's going to take another fight.
Exactly.
There's going to be another fight in between that, I think, because of how active he is and the way he is as a person.
Yeah.
But it is a bunch of ifs, but it literally, it could pan out so easily.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So for UFC 304, I totally agree with so many things you just said there, by the way. It's a bunch of ifs, and I hope a lot of those things happen for sure. It's just
I'd love to see him champ.
Yeah.
But in a way, I would want it. In my dream scenario, Jones beats Aspinall. Jones beats Stipe. I don't know if they're going to fight. Jones,
I think they're going to fight in November.
Yeah. But Jones beats Stipe. Jones beats Aspinall. Jones retires as the greatest of all time. Undisputed. Not even close.
Yep.
Giving the actual belt to Aspinall. He'll fight it for the actual belt.
He'll vacant fight against maybe Pereira. What if it's a vacant fight?
What if it's a vacant fight for the championship? That's exactly. Which would take a fight. Which would take a fight off the timeline.
Yeah.
I genuinely think I think Jones retires.
Yeah, after Stipe and then Aspinall. Yeah,
I think Jones.
He definitely retires. I think.
And oh my god, that is the best case scenario for Alex Pereira. If it's a vacant,
yeah,
they're gonna give him the fucking vacant. I don't care. He's the next guy up.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're not gonna throw him a pity match. They're not gonna throw him Curtis Blades. They're not gonna
exactly. Which he's about to fight Curtis Blades.
Christ.
So you think
he holds a heavyweight and light heavyweight like DC did,
would be crazy. It's the last person that's the last person to hold lightweight and heavyweight was DC. Light heavyweight and heavyweight.
Yeah, was DC. But to think a heavyweight, the dude who has the heavyweight belt once had the middleweight belt.
Yeah, crazy.
Which will never happen again.
Because
you can't even take. The only three. Can we pull up? How do I pull up the?
I got you.
I want to get to the weight classes in general. Just all the weight classes. The only. Scroll up so I can see all the weight classes. So the only one that obviously the easiest route to go is probably middleweight to a light heavyweight to a heavyweight. Because those tall middleweights can get huge. But when you think of it like that, when you think you have to win in 3 divisions, it is so hard, like let's say to go from like it's just so hard to like even go from like a flyweight to like or like a bantamweight to a lightweight to a welterweight might be like even those.
You mean a bantamweight to a featherweight to a lightweight?
A bantamweight to a featherweight to a lightweight.
Yeah, like that's crazy to do. Like it's nuts.
Even talking about that, like that just doesn't seem possible.
It doesn't sound possible at all.
No,
it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Pereira is something special that the sport needed for.
Yeah, he's the boogeyman.
Yeah, he's what the sport needed. That was like the missing piece for sure. I believe
he's a boogeyman. He's disgusting.
So 304 predictions. We've been talking about 304 for like the past two like our first 2 episodes. But we can just give predictions.
We actually have the actual fight card. Can we pull up the actual fight card and
we can pull up
full
the fight
predictions?
Card. Yeah, we can pull that up. So I actually love this poster for it. It's actually a good poster. So we can just do the main card.
Yeah,
I think so. Arnold Allen versus Giga. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I like Arnold Allen a lot. I think he's a pretty consistent fighter. He's done good, but has struggled in his past 5 fights.
But we all know how these local guys fight in England. It's different. Like fighting in the United Kingdom as an English guy is. Fuck, Darren Till could have been a champ there.
I know, crazy.
It's unbelievable. Just the hometown advantage these guys get. Absolutely not.
So I'll take Arnold now.
I would also take Arnold out.
And then Muhammad Mokov versus Mano Cape. Sorry if I.
That's a complete toss up.
Yeah, sorry if I mispronounced that, but I heard those two do not like each other at all, at all. But I don't know. I don't really know those two fighters.
I'm unfamiliar with both of them.
Yeah, I know Cape has some like pretty good highlights, and Mokov is a very good
balanced fighter.
Flyweight. Yeah, he can do a little bit of everything. So I'll probably take Muhammad Mokov on that. And then, what about you? What do you think about those two? Even though we're both unfamiliar about them.
I think the hometown's going to help Mokov a lot.
Yeah.
I think Cape, I have seen the highlights of him. He's up and coming.
They're both even.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a toss. It's a toss up.
-110.
It's a toss up completely.
Just like Bueno Silva and that other girl, when they fought, they were both -110 going into that fight.
I think because of it completely being in the UK and Mokov being based out the UK, why not just throw? Why not just
exactly.
Throw him in there?
Bobby Green and Patty, bro. I did not even know this. Bobby Green's -185 and Patty's +154. I'm gonna go with Patty on this one.
The day Patty Pimblett gets ranked.
This is perfect. This is a perfect fight for Patty because it's gonna show how he can fight against a stand-up striker like Bobby Green that's very experienced in the UFC, been around there for a long time. I'm a fan of Bobby Green. I like how much he talks shit and doesn't really care what other people think.
So does Patty.
And then Patty's the same way, but people love Patty, and he's going to be at his hometown.
He's going to be backed by so many people.
I'm excited to see how his striking might be. He was just talking on Twitter. Sorry to cut you off. No. He was just talking on Twitter and was just like, how about you fucking grapple me? Let's see how we do there. You have me in the striking. How about you grapple me? Which Bobby Green won't do. He's just trying to get in his head. It sounds like Patty's just gonna try to focus on grappling. Which I hope it's a great fight. I'm gonna take Patty. I believe in Patty. I think he is a good fighter. He needs to work on his striking. That's probably what That's probably what he is working on since his time off. You know.
If he gets him against Cage, if he gets Bobby Green down, I think Patty Pimblett, like as much as he just kind of seems like the showman and tries to be loud possible, tries to boost as many things, he can submit. Good fighter, like he can submit good. Like he's won questionable fights. Like I think his last fight was a decision.
No, he fought Tony Ferguson. That went to decision though.
And I think it was really questionable, wasn't it?
No, he destroyed. There was a very questionable one.
He beat the shit out of Tony Ferguson. Yeah. That's right.
There was a very questionable one. I don't know if it was the fight before that. It might have been.
I think it was.
Yeah, it was. It was a unanimous decision.
I don't think it was. I think a lot of people hated that.
And people did not like it at all.
I don't know. I think this might be the time. I think this actually might be the time he cracks the top 15.
Yeah, I think he can pull it off.
Did that get confirmed?
What?
Jan Ankalaev?
No, that's an old. That's
an old one. I was like, holy!
Yeah,
I was like, Jan Ankalaev too?
Yeah.
I was like, no way.
That was a boring fight. They fucking tied
Jan's
for a
injured
vacant
again,
belt.
right?
Huh?
Jan's injured again, or is he waiting? He's still injured.
I don't even know. He hasn't fought since last summer.
Yeah, I didn't know if he got injured again.
He fought around this time last. He fought around August 2nd last summer. That's not the exact date. I'm just doing. Yeah. But it was the first week of August last summer. It was a vacant belt against Ankalaev. I don't even want to waste my time on that. They fucking tied for a vacant belt. It didn't even, and it was supposed to be handed out, and that's whatever. And then now there's Tom Aspinall, Curtis Blades for the interim belt. Props to Tom putting up his interim belt because you're not supposed to when you're interim champ. But he's in his prime. He wants to be able to get out there and show what he can do and not waste time in his prime years because last time he fought was in November, and so he wants to fight and not waste time, feel fresh. Like I was saying in the last pod, you want to stay consistent in the ring and not have time off so you don't lose that touch in the ring, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if I'm totally right saying that. That's just how I feel, you know? Because I was saying how, like, Colby will only fight once a year, and he just didn't look good against Leon. He didn't feel comfortable in there, and he claims he, like, broke his foot, but I kind of call bullshit. So, I mean, I don't know. So, I give a lot of props to him. I don't like Tom that much just because he complains about John Jones, and all the fans do as well complain about John Jones because he's fading Tom. He's just not fading Tom. He was supposed to fight Stipe last November, got hurt, was out for 6 months minimum, and then also you have to do a 10-week fight camp after that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it makes sense that he was out for a year and he's going to fight Stipe this November. So, like, it's going to... Like, there's nothing that John Jones did wrong, and I'm tired of Tom complaining about that. I will take Tom over Curtis Blades any day of the week, though. Tom is next up in line for heavyweight after John Jones retires.
Curtis Blades could win. Curtis Blades could win. It has to be a knockout. It has to be. But I think just the fighter that Tom Aspinall is, like, he's the prototype of what heavyweights are gonna be in the future. He is so unbelievably fast.
Yeah.
His striking is so good. Just he's all around, like, he's the perfect heavyweight, like, all around.
He is, yeah.
And if you've ever seen just the way his ring presence is, if you've watched, like, if people watch Tom Aspinall fights, he's very quick.
Yeah.
Unbelievably fastest heavyweight and fastest heavyweight in the division
in a long time.
Like, his quickness and the way he can, like, ground and pound. His ground and pound is absolutely
it's lethal.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna make quick work of Curtis Blades. Wasn't it an eye poke?
Remember, Curtis Blades he can grapple really well too.
Yeah.
When he fought Almeida, held his own against Almeida, and then also knocked out Almeida.
Wasn't it an eye poke?
It was a leg. It was something. Aspinall hurt his leg really bad, and they had to stop the fight. And they gave the win to Curtis Blades.
I knew it was an injury that they just tossed it.
I don't know if it was a check leg kick or what. It's just like Aspinall either threw a kick. I think Aspinall threw a kick, and then he just, like, went down grabbing his, like, shin, and it was just bad. But yeah, Aspinall all day. I think
100%.
And then
Curtis Blades has the power to do it.
Yeah, Curtis Blades. I'm like, we're not discrediting him at all. He has a bunch of power. He's a scary fighter. Aspinall shouldn't take that fight lightly. But I think Aspinall is preparing. He's at his hometown.
Curtis Blades is going to be a dude getting title shots.
And be a top contender
for the next 2 years. Yeah,
exactly. And then Leon Edwards versus Bilal. Don't really need to waste our time on this one. I'm going to take Leon. Leon's the most well-rounded welterweight there is right now, besides Shavkat.
I will say one thing. I am, like, as much as Bilal is so fucking boring, like, his training with Habib does.
Bilal has a 26% finish rate.
I know.
26%.
But he's working with Habib.
I know.
He's working with Habib, which makes his grappling, I don't care who you are, it makes it 10 times better when you're working with those Dagestanians.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's been working with them for a good amount of time now.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
We saw what Ian Machado Gary did.
Yeah.
Like, just
working with the jiu-jitsu artist, Oliveira from Brazil.
And became filthy submission attempts. I think
I want to see the odds on that fight.
Bilal.
Yeah,
I think Bilal plus, like, 150, 160.
He's plus 160. You're almost right.
Close.
That's close. That's way closer than I thought it was.
I was gonna be like plus 225.
Leon at minus 192.
I kind of saw it plus 185. Yeah, Leon, most well-rounded fighter in the UFC besides Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, so, I like Leon a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I do like Leon in that fight. Hopefully he wins as well. I think it's just also biasy that I'm seeing.
How do you feel about that's our predictions for UFC 304. I hope you guys are excited to watch that one. I think it's a stacked card. Some people don't really like it that much. That's like some. And I don't know why.
I'm sad about the
card.
I'm sad about the card knowing I'm happy to see the card for the fact of I know what cards are next. I think it's just saddening. It's in July. It's like kind of like the end of the summer card. I wish it was like the Izzy, then this. They're both going to be really amazing cards. Yeah. They will be. It's nothing to shit on this card. I love this card. I love this card a lot. Like it's a good card. It's a really good card. Seeing Tom Aspinall, Leon Edwards, bringing Paddy Pimblett, like the fact that you have two champs on it. I mean, one's an intern. The fact that you have two champs on it's going to be an amazing card regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
But
we haven't seen a two. I was talking about this last week. I mean, our last pod. Sorry, and I totally forgot when I said we haven't had a two title fight card in a long time. And then after the pod, I was like, oh shit, UFC 304 is a two title fight, and I got super hyped after that. I don't even know why I didn't even realize that when I said it, but I love two title fight cards. Everyone loves two title fight cards.
Just the more champs you have.
Yeah, it's just super fun. So
I think not that they're boring, but I think those main card, those bottom main cards actually will be entertaining to the fact like it'll level up to each, especially with it being a hometown card, which I love that they're doing these hometown cards recently. Like 305 is in
305 is at Perth. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Perth. So yeah,
Perth, Australia. We can move to that also. That, but yeah, I think what you're about to say, I didn't mean to cut you off there. What they're doing with these home cards, they're finding a lot of success out of it, and
I wish Volk was
it's giving the UFC fans more, because there's definitely in the past where Dana White was just not ready to take the company out to other homelands like Australia, England. He's trying to work on Spain right now because Ilya's champ. What else is he trying to work on? That one rising star in the I don't know. Sorry, I don't want to say anything false. In the flyweight division, Tatsuro Taira guy, he's like from Japan, and he called out to fight Pantoja in Japan and be the first Japanese UFC champion. He is filthy. I think that's Pantoja's next fight, by the way, is to fight him. Yeah. I think it is because he made noise at the UFC Fight Night 3 weeks ago, and so
Did you notice?
He's the fifth ranked fighter. He already beat Moreno and Rojas.
Now that we're on 305, we can kind of start with the little main card events. Ursig.
Oh yeah,
he's fighting.
They did announce some fights. They did announce some fights for
I love that he's fighting
for 305.
I do like Steve Ursig.
Let's check it out.
Look at this card. This card is.
It's gonna be awesome. This card's gonna be, and dude, there's gonna be another big fight.
Tuivasa.
Oh shit, dude! They have announced a lot of fights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's already 9 fights. That means there's going to be 3 more fights announced because it's always 5 early prelims, 5 prelims, and then 4 main card. Or wait, I'm pretty sure there's only 4 main cards. Sometimes there's 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, I am off. I'm miscounting badly because usually there's 5 prelims and early prelims. I'm pretty sure, and then there's 4 or 5 on the main card. So and there's only 9 fights announced. So there's going to be some. There's going to be 4 more fights.
Well, let's just go through the fights announced. Let's start kind of.
We can do the big ones instead of. I don't really.
No, not too much. But if you go down, you go down to the early prelims, there's some dudes like Jack Jenkins coming home. You know Jack Jenkins?
I don't know if I do know Jack Jenkins.
Probably seen him before. Young guy, young Australian. He's coming home. Pretty cool.
Lit. Okay, I'll make sure to keep my eye on him.
Mm-hmm. So just a lot of these guys, they're bringing all the Aussies home.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's all Aussies, which is pretty sick. Mm-hmm. And then JDM was supposed to fight on this card, but he's injured right now, which sucks.
But you have Tai Tuivasa.
Everyone loves Tai Tuivasa, and I hope he gets a win because he has lost his last 2 or 3 fights. I think
3.
He's lost the last 3, 1, 2, and 3. I mean, but dude, he's fought Sergi, he's fought Volkov,
that's just what the heavyweight division is.
Then he fought Tybura, but Tybura is a rising guy.
That's just what the heavyweight division is.
Oh my god, and he lost to Cyril Gane. He's lost his last 4 fights.
Mm-hmm. That's the heavyweight division. You can go from a
Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis was a top 4 contender and then dropped out of the rankings, and now Derek Lewis is making a comeback, so that's good for him. But yeah, fucking Kai Kara France versus Steve Ursig. Keep notice of that fight. That's going to be fucking awesome. We love your Ursig after fighting Pantoja. Kai Kara France is a big prospect that has had setbacks, and then he's rose back up to the occasion. So that's going to be an awesome fight to watch.
I think this is going to be such an entertaining fight because the build-up of a New Zealander versus an Australian is also huge to them.
Huge.
That is big part of it. And I think Steve Ursig is a very well-rounded fighter. One of the best strikers in that division. It's
going to be a very split audience.
Probably might be the best striker in that division.
Yeah, it's going to be a split audience for sure at UFC 305 for Kai Kara France versus Ursig. And then, yet but not least, we got Dricus du Plessis versus Izzy. And I am so pumped for that card. Some people hate Izzy. Some people like him, but I love him. And I think Izzy is the middleweight GOAT over Anderson Silva. He got the torch passed to him. He rose up to the whatever you call it. He rose up to all the hype that everyone gave him, and he proved everyone right. Not everyone wrong. He proved everyone right. He defended the belt over 5 times, cleaned the middleweight division. He deserves to have this fight. He deserves to he deserves to not get a rematch. Like he was. Oh my God, I am not making sense right now. He props to him for not getting a rematch and letting Strickland fight Duplessis. And then now Izzy got his rematch, which he gratefully deserves. And yeah, I'm really excited for this fight.
And it works out.
What do you think about this, man? I just
Dricus. Obviously, Duplessis is champ. He's the most vulnerable champion, though. I think it's cool. I think a lot of people don't really know how involved Izzy is with the Australian community. Yeah. This will be a huge fight. Izzy will have a very big crowd for him. Yeah, because obviously he's huge in the Australian community. Yeah, he's a big trainer.
He was born in Australia.
Yeah, but he's a big trainer. Yeah, he's born in Australia. Like, I feel like a lot of people are seeing this card and they're like, "Why is Izzy?"
Yeah,
a lot of people that don't know. But like obviously Volk will be there. Volk is big friends with Izzy. Dricus he's the most vulnerable champ. I don't like Dricus a lot.
Yeah.
These dudes hate each other though, which is the biggest part.
Yeah, that's the best thing about it.
Yeah, these dudes hate each other. They absolutely despise each other.
And that little press conference they had was heated. Not heated, but like they were barking at each other, and they were barking at each other, and it was pretty good to see. Wow, I didn't even see the odds here. Izzy's minus 135, and Dricus DDP is plus 115. So
as it should be.
Yeah, I like to see that a lot. It's gonna be such a great card, and I'm gonna be back on campus with my college friends to watch that when we move into our new house, and I'm just like so pumped for that. It's gonna be a nice like welcome back to college UFC event. Yeah. It's gonna be super fun to watch, and I'm gonna be happy to watch that with my boys.
Yeah, these are just gonna be really entertaining fights. Yeah, it's gonna be really hard to like not want to watch this card. It's a really entertaining card. There's just so much good UFC coming up.
We're excited about these guys. Drop your comments down below who you think is gonna win in UFC 304 and who you think is gonna be coming out on top in UFC 305 as well. That's almost all we have for UFC right now. We can move this over to. I just want to talk about this real quick because I'm a Ryan Garcia fan, and what's happened to him this past month has sucked. He got suspended after coming in positive with steroid use and whatever, and then he got suspended by the WBC because he said not so great things to the African American community about George Floyd and everything like that. It was really disgusting to hear, and I was like, dude, this guy's off the rails. Something needs to happen with this. Like, it was just not good. And
no, he's off the rails. It's kind of crazy to see. Just like, I mean, a lot of these fighters are like that. But
yeah,
Ryan Garcia was like a show boy.
Yeah,
he was like a golden boy to the boxing community, and a lot of shit's happened with him recently. He's been very controversial. Yeah, it's starting to get really difficult.
And then they were also talking about how Devin Haney might get that loss wiped off his record. What do you think about that? I think the loss should stay there, and he should not be undefeated anymore. That pisses me off.
It's just steroid use in sports is just. I mean, it's hard to even say that because it's like what you say about. It's like when you go back to steroid use in sports, obviously you have the biggest factor, that being Barry Bonds, and Barry Bonds doesn't get his shit wiped.
He didn't get his stuff wiped. He's not allowed to be a Hall of Famer.
It's an asterisk.
Yeah,
I think Devin Haney's fight could go down as an asterisk. Like it's just there.
Yeah,
but you can say that how you want it. Like Barry Bonds' home runs, they're asterisk. Like some people can keep that, some people can wipe it away.
Yeah.
I think you could do anything you want with this loss. I think it could get wiped. I think it couldn't get wiped. I think it should show regardless, but I also think it should be abbreviated to being.
That's fair.
I think it should be abbreviated to it's not a loss. You fought a dude who's juiced up.
Maybe make it a no contest then. I don't know.
Yeah, you fought a dude who's juiced up. As much as as much as like it does come down to like it's gonna come down to like striking and everything. Like, steroid uses it can boost your performance. It can boost. I think the biggest thing is it boosts their camp.
Yeah.
So much. They can.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that part. You can just grind through camp, just get stronger and faster, and your recovery is easier. So yeah, I didn't even think about that part.
But you're losing body fat, but you're adding muscle in camp.
Yeah, he missed weight by 3 pounds.
But he's adding muscle in camp. That's probably why.
Yeah. He looked bigger too when he weighed in. Like, yeah.
It just boosted everything in him.
That's fair. I agree with your takes. I didn't think about it that deeply like that, so that's why I have you on here for certain things, Rude. So do you know anything about Nico Ali Walsh?
I actually do.
I don't know if he's Muhammad Ali's son or nephew. I'm pretty sure he's his nephew. I could be wrong though. But I just want to talk about him because he came off a great win a week or 2 weekends ago. And he was talking about how he's not gonna be this showman boxer and just like does all these like fights with
grandson. Sorry to cut you off. Grandson. It's his granddad.
Oh, it's his grandson? Okay, gotcha.
Grandpa Ali.
Grandpa Ali, perfect then. So he was like, I'm not gonna be this guy that only fights for money. He was like, I could have been a millionaire overnight if I took a fight with Jake Paul. And he's like, I'm a real fighter. I don't fight those fake fights and stuff like that. I'm basically throwing shots at all like the YouTube boxers and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, massive respect. Like
100%.
Dude decide not to be a millionaire overnight by taking a Jake Paul fight, which a lot of people would do just because Jake Paul can just bring in a bunch of money and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool to hear. I'm excited for his future. He's been up and coming for like 2 years now. I've kind of been following him, not like following him intently, just like seeing how his outcomes are in a fight and then watching highlights here and there. But yeah, I'm excited about him for sure. And
if
what
you're
he
a
can
fan
bring
of
to
him, that's what I was just trying to look up. I can't remember if he has made statements upon he wants to honor his grandfather's legacy, but he doesn't want to just be Muhammad Ali's grandson. Like he doesn't want that to be just like what his name is. He doesn't want that to be like. But I can't remember if he's the fighter. But I do believe it was like I heard of a boxing thing that happened unbelievably recently. It was on ESPN or something that fought with a dislocated shoulder.
Whoa.
I think that could have been him.
Okay, that's lit.
I think he fought in his last fight with a dislocated shoulder. If I'm wrong. I want to look that up because I have no idea.
All right, well, guys, keep note of Nico Ali Walsh. That guy's a dog. He has a bright future. It was him.
Fought through his last rematch with a dislocated shoulder.
That's crazy. Yeah, this guy's a badass. Watch over him if you guys are a fan of boxing. I know I will be watching him and keeping him on my radar. And then last thing we'll be talking about is like the UFC 306 at the Sphere called Nosh UFC. I've been very excited about that and how the Sphere has looked when they announced it was Nosh UFC. The Sphere looks fucking insane. I'm super dope.
Incredible.
Yeah, we were talking about it having Merab and Sugar Sean on there and having Ilya versus
Max.
Holloway. That would be unreal. Let us know what you guys think about that as well. And yeah, I really hope at least one of those two fights happen at the Sphere for sure. One of them should definitely. What do you think?
Want to say Merab.
I think Merab and Sugar
might be way more confirmed.
Yeah, it's pretty more realistic. I saw that they signed the papers already. There was like
they're fighting.
There was a rumor that the papers were signed for somewhere in the fall for them to fight. And
they're fighting.
The Sphere's in September, so it's like that's like prime fall. Like I don't know if September.
It's also so fun when you go back to O'Malley's last fight. He calls out Ilya.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Slow down! You have to fight Merab."
Yeah, that was your first offense. And then guys. So for the MK MMA pound for pound rankings again, Nothing changed, but I'll run you guys through them to keep you updated. I was really thinking about putting Alex Pereira above Islam at number 2, but I kept it the same. Don't worry, I didn't want to piss off anyone, and I also wanted to be more realistic for myself as well. So I mean, John Jones at 1, Islam 2, Alex 3, Leon 4, Ilya 5, Sugar Sean 6. I might change Sugar Sean and Ilya soon. I don't know. Alexander Volkanovski at 7, Max at 8, Pantoja at 9, DDP at 10, Izzy at 11, Tom at 12, Charles at 13, Strickland at 14, and Sterling at 15. Yeah, so boys, that's all we have for you guys. Thank you so much for keep showing your love and support to me, and to also Jack. Jack's been like basically my temporarily co-host, and I've been loving it. Dude, I appreciate you. I've literally haven't been able to do this podcast without Jack, so shout out to him. He's been helping me so much, and I really appreciate it. But yeah, this will be my last podcast episode until August comes around. It will be around the second or third week of August when the next podcast comes out. So it'll probably be a month. I'll try to get an episode in before then if I can. I'll let you guys know on my social media if I do. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. I hope you guys like this episode. And yeah, hopefully we can keep growing from here. And I appreciate you guys. So tune in, have fun at UFC 304, UFC 305 as well. And hopefully the Sphere rolls around to stuff that we want to see. So appreciate you guys. Thank you.